Good morning, everyone. We are the Group 4. So, our topic is about the changing American society, demographic, and social stratification. Technology is hot, and marketers want to know who the heavy users are and what traits characterize them so they can better understand this market and meet their needs. Scarborough Research recently conducted a national survey of adults 18 and older to find what they call the digital savvy consumer. So digital savvy consumers are leading age digital users who are early adopters and diffusers of information related to technology in terms of first, technology ownership, second is internet usage, third is cell phone feature usage. So, technology behaviors. The digital savvy outstrip the general population in every category of technology, including MP3 and DVR. Ownerships, online banking, online streaming video, text messaging, and email use via cell phone. While demographic, this digital savvy have very distinct demographic profile. They trended younger, white collar, male, higher education, higher income. And while it is commonly believed that technology is mostly youth market, digital savvy consumers are found across all age categories, and the youngest age category is not even the most digital savvy. The table below shows the age distribution of digital savvy consumer compared with the general population. In media, the digital savvy are heavy users of digital media. In terms of traditional media, they tend to be slightly higher in radio, about average in newspaper, and somewhat lower in TV except for high-end TV such as pay-per-view and premium channels. They watch news, sports, and family programs. For example, many are married with kids. They also tend to watch ethnically oriented programming since they group trends higher Asian is Hispanic. In lifestyle, the digital savvy lifestyles are characterized by luxury purchases, upscale restaurant and luxury cars, and travel to exotic destinations such as East Asia, the Middle East, and Hawaii. They are heavy online spenders who are also active in athletic, example yoga, golf, bowling, adult education, and are sports fun. So what is demographics? Demographic describe a population in terms of its size, distribution, and structure. Demographics influence consumption's behavior both directly and by affecting others' attributes of individual, such as their personal values, decision styles. Consider the demographics of the devoted high-end coffee shop crowd. Not surprisingly, marketers frequently segment and describe their markets on the basis of demographic and use that information to select appropriate media and develop effective promotional themes. As the opening example suggests, demographics are often related to values, lifestyles, and media patterns in important ways. Population size and distribution. The population of the United States is approximately 309 million and is expected to surpass 320 million by 2015. The population grows steadily from 1960 through 2003. Despite a declining birth rate because of longer life expectancies, the large baby boom generation moving through the childbearing years, and significant immigration, population growth has continued to be steady, and starting in 2003, the overall birth rate began to increase again. Occupation. So what is occupation? Occupation is probably the most widely applied single cue we use to initially evaluate and define individuals we meet. This should be obvious when you stop to think of the most common bit of information we seek from a new acquaintance. What do you do? Almost invariably, we want to know someone's occupation to make inference about his or her probable life. Occupation is strongly associated with education, which to some extent determines occupation, in income, which to some extent is determined by occupation. Education. Approximately 86% of Americans have high school degree and 28% have completed college. Education is increasingly critical for a family wage job. Traditional high-paying manufacturing jobs that required relatively little education are rapidly disappearing. High-paying jobs in the manufacturing and service sectors today require technical skills, abstract reasoning, and the ability to read and learn new skills rapidly. Individuals without the skills are generally forced into minimum wage and often part-time jobs, which rarely keep a family above the poverty level. In income, a household income level combined with its accumulated wealth determines its purchasing power. While many purchases are made on credit, one's ability to buy on credit is ultimately determined by one's current and past income or wealth. Income enables purchase but does not generally cause or explain them. For example, a college professor or lawyer may have the same income as a truck driver or plumber. Nonetheless, it is likely that their consumption processes for a variety of products will differ. Occupation and education directly influence preference for products, media, and activities. Income provide the means to acquire them. So, consumer insight in marketing and the low literate consumer. So, consumer literacy is a major issue in American society. Statistics reveal that 20% of American adults are functionally illiterate while an additional 34% are marginally literate. Both groups struggles with reading comprehension and inference making in ways that are atypical of literate consumers. In consumer literacy, is defined as the ability to find and manipulate text and numbers to accomplish consumption-related tasks with a specific market context in which other skills and knowledge are also employed.
Let's proceed to age. Proper age positioning is critical for many products. Age carries with it culturally defined behavioral and attitudinal norms. 20 it affects our self-concepts and lifestyles. 21, not surprisingly, age influences the consumptions of products ranging from birth to toilet paper to vacations. Our age shapes which media we use, where we shop, how we use products, and how we think and feel about marketing activities. So the table 4.3 shows that age influences on consumptions. The estimated age distribution of the US population for 2010 and 2020 are shows below. Even a quick look at this age distribution indicates important changes. Some of the marketing implications include: first, demand for children products such as toys, diapers, and clothes will grow moderately as the populations under 10 years of age will grow 8% over this period. Second, the teen market is growing again at a modest rate of a decade, in which growth had been minimal or negative. These signals are growth in demand for fashion, music, and technology targeting the teen market. The third, given that marriage and childbirth often occur in the 20s but are increasingly delayed until the 30th. Growth in the 30 to 39 market should provide growth in homes, childcare products and services, family cars, and insurance to offset the lack of growth in the 20 to 29 age group. Fourth, products consumed by those aged 40 to 49 will decline as this population group grows smaller. This will have significant implications for such industries as financial services, for which this is a key age group. And the last, the largest growth area in the 60 and over groups, which will grow a greater than 30%. The 60 to 69 groups will be primarily one or two person households with many retired or near retirement. Vacations, restaurants, second homes, and financial services aimed at this market should flourish. Growth in the 69 and over group will create many opportunities for marketing ranging from beauty aids and travel and leisures to retirement homes and healthcare. Cognitive age is defined as one perceived age, a part of one concept. 25 it is measured by asking people what age they would associate with how they look, feel, and behave. Understanding American generations. A generation or age cohort is a group of persons who have experienced a common social, political, historical, and economic environment. Age cohorts, because their shared histories produce unique shared values and behaviors, often functions as unique market segments. Cohort analysis is the process of describing and explaining the attitudes, values, and behaviors of an age group, as well as predicting its future attitudes, values, and behaviors. A critical fact uncovered by cohort analysis is that each generation behaves differently from other generations as it passes through various age categories. Pre-Depression generation. The pre-depression generations is composed of those individuals born before 1930. As with all generations, the pre-depression generation is composed of many distinct segments, and marketing to it requires a strategy that incorporates such factors as gender, ethnicity, and social class. In fact, this generation is part of a broader category of consumers called the mature market. Gerontographics is one segmentation's approach to the mature market that incorporates aging processes and life events related to the physical health and mental outlook of all consumers. Depression generation. This is the cohort born between 1930 and 1945. These people were small children during the Depression or World War II. They matured during the prosperous years of the 1950s and early 60s. They discovered both Sinatra and Presley. They invented rock and roll and grew up with music and televisions as important parts of their lives. Many in this generation are still excellent health and are quite active. Active lifestyles translate into demand for recreational vehicles, second homes, new cars, travel services, and recreational adult education. We are here now in Consumer Insight 4.2, targeting the mature market. One approach to segmenting old consumers is gerontographics, based on the theory and people change their outlook on life when they experience major life events such as becoming a grandparent, retiring, losing a spouse, or developing chronic health conditions. Healthy indulgers, this segment is physically and mentally healthy, has the most in common with the baby boomers than any other segments, and will increasingly be composed by baby boomers as they age. Both spouses are generally still alive. They have prepared for retirement both financially and psychologically. Ailing outgoers. These people have experienced health problems that limit their physical abilities and frequently their financial capability. Ailing outgoers are a key market for retirement communities and assisted living housing. People in this group acknowledge their limits, maintain positive self-esteem, and seek to get the most out of life. Healthy hermits. People in this group retain their physical health, but life events, often the death of a spouse, have reduced their self-concept. They have reacted by becoming withdrawn. Many then resent the isolation and the feeling that they are expected to act like old people. This group does not want to stand out. Frail recluses. Those in the segments have accepted their old age status and have adjusted their lifestyle to reflect reduced physical capabilities and social rules. They focus on becoming spiritually stronger. Frail recluses may have been in any one of those other categories at an early age. Baby boom generation. The baby boom generation refers to those individuals born during the dramatic increase of births between the end of World War II and 1964. There are almost 80 million baby boomers, which is substantially more than the two preceding generations combined. Most of this group grew up during the prosperous 1950s and 1960s. Generation X. Generation X, often referred to as the baby bust generation, was born between 1965 and 1976. It is a smaller generation than its predecessor, about 45 million. This generation reached adulthood during difficult economic times. It is the first generation to be raised mainly in a dual career households, and 40% spent at least some time in a single parent household before the age of 16. Generation Y. Traditional mass marketing approaches that were so successful with older generations often don't work well with younger consumers, including those in Generation Y. Companies must continually push the creative envelope with respect to media and promotional themes to capture their audience. Twins, marketers have yet to fully define the age cohort following Generation Y. This newest generation was born after 1994. However, it seems natural to look at the oldest of this group now in the so-called twins years. Twins have many of the same characteristics as the twins discussed earlier and will likely continue trends in increased education, diversity, and technology usage. Now, let's proceed to social stratification. We are all familiar with the concept of social class, but most of us would have difficulty explaining our class system to a foreigner. The following quote illustrates the vague nature of social class. Like it or not, all of us are largely defined, at least in the eyes of others, according to a complex set of criteria. How much we earn, what we do for a living, who our parents are, where and how long we attended school, how we speak, what we wear, where we live, and how we react to the issues of the day. It all adds up to socioeconomic status, our ranking in U.S. society. The words social class and social standing are used interchangeably to mean social rank, one's position relative to others on one or more dimensions valued by society. How do we obtain a social standing? Your social standing is a result of characteristics you possess that others in society desire and hold in a high esteem. Your education, occupation, ownership of property, income level, and heritage influence your social standing.
Social class system can be defined as a hierarchical division of a society into relatively distinct and homogeneous groups with respect to attitude, values, and lifestyles. Status crystallization. The more consistent an individual is on all status dimensions, the greater the degree of the status crystallization for an individual. Status crystallization is moderate in the United States. The next topic is social structure in the United States. The moderate level of status crystallization in the United States support the contention that social class system is not perfect categorization of social position. However, does not mean that the population cannot be subdivided into status group whose members are similar lifestyle, at least with respect to particular product categories or activities. The next slide shows the table 4.4, the Coleman Rainwater social class hierarchy, which is the Upper Americans, Middle Americans, and the Lower Americans. The Upper Americans has three types. First one is the upper class. Members of the upper social class are aristocratic families who make up the social elite. Members with the level of social status generally are the nucleus of the best country clubs and sponsor of major charitable events. They provide leadership and funds for community and the civic activities and often serve as trustees for hospital, colleagues, and the civic organizations. They provide leadership and funds for community and the civic activities and often serve as trustees for hospital, colleges, and the civic organization. The second one is the lower upper class. The lower upper class is often referred to as a new rich the current generation's new successful elite. These families are relatively new in terms of upper class social status and have not yet been accepted by the upper class of the community. In some cases, their incomes are greater than those of families in the upper social strata. The upper middle class. The upper middle class consists of families who possess neither family status derived from heritage nor unusual wealth. Occupation and education are the key aspect of this social stratum as it consists of successful professional, independent business people, and the corporate managers. Next is the Middle Americans. Middle Americans has two types of class. The first one is the middle class. The middle class is composed of white-collar workers, office workers, school teachers, lower-level managers, and the high-paid blue-collar workers, plumbers, factory supervisor. Thus, the middle class represent the majority of the white-collar group and the top of the blue-collar group. The next is the working class. The working class consists of skilled and semi-skilled factory service and sales workers. Though some households in the social stratum seek advancement, members are more likely to seek security for and protection of what they already have. This segment suffered seriously during the first half of the 1990s as their average real earnings declined. Lastly, the lower Americans. The lower Americans has two types of class. The upper lower class. The upper lower class consists of individuals who are poorly educated, have very low income, and work as unskilled laborers. Must have minimum wage jobs. The Fair Minimum Wage Act of 2007 and took an important step in helping this group by moving the minimum wage to $7.25 per hour by 2009. The lower class. The members of the lower social stratum have very low incomes and minimal education. These segments of society is often unemployed for a long period of time and its major recipient of government support and services provided by nonprofit organizations. The measurement of social class. There are two basic approaches to measuring social status, a single item index and a multi-item index. The single item indexes estimate social status on the basis of a single dimension such as education, income, or occupation. Since an individual's overall status is influenced by several dimensions, single item indexes are generally less accurate. The multi-item indexes take into account numerous variables simultaneously and weight these according to a scheme that reflects societal views. We focus here on the classic multi-item approach of Hollingshed.
The Hollingshed Index of Social Position or ISP is a two-item index that is well developed and widely used. The item scales, weights, formulas, and social class scores are shown in the table 4 to 5. Notice how in the United States, occupation is given a higher weight than education. Why is this? It is important to note that multi-item indexes were designed to measure or reflect an individual's or family overall social position within a community. Because of this, it is possible for high score on one variable to offset a low score on another. Thus, the following three individuals would all be classified as a middle class on the ISP scale. Number 1, someone with an 8th grade education who is successful owner of a medium-sized firm. Second, a fourth-year college graduate working as a salesperson. And third, a graduate of a junior college working in an administrative position in the civil service.
Next topic is the social stratification and marketing strategy. While social stratification does not explain all consumption behaviors, it is certainly relevant for some product categories. For clear evidence of this, visit a furniture store in a working class neighborhood and then an upper class store such as Ethan Allen Galleries.
Figure 4 to 4 on the next page illustrate how Anheuser-Busch covered a large portion of the U.S. population by carefully positioning three different brands. While Anheuser-Busch products portfolio has expanded since the research underlying Figure 4 to 4 was conducted, the major brands, teams, and social class connection still ring true. Table 46 indicates that consumers perceive these brands very clearly in the terms of social class.
So this is a figure 4 to 4, marketing classic and user Bush positioning to social class segments.